Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. My name is Eugene. I'm the head of off-plan sales here at Neo Realty. I'm here with Aeda, our sales associate at Expo City. And Aida is here to educate us today on this fantastic development that they've got going on. Aida, thanks for joining me today.
Sure.
Yeah, we're all quite excited to learn about Expo City and what makes it such an exciting opportunity for investors and residents alike. We've got a couple questions for you here. We're going to try to grill you a little bit.
Yeah,
How are you today, Ida?
very good. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. We'll just get right into it.
Mhm.
So, first of all, we're already aware Expo offers quite a diverse offering of products for investors. You've got your townhouses, you've got villas, the semi-detached townhouses, apartments, and of course, plots, right? That kind of sets it apart from most other developments that we have in the city at the moment. So, how does this make it a standout opportunity for investors to put them in a position to get strong returns in the future?
So I think our location is a very important aspect because we're right next to Al Maktoum Airport. So it's like a few minutes away. Once you take the metro in the future, it will take you barely 5 minutes to go there. And we are the beginning of Dubai South. So the demand is getting very high on the south side of Dubai, and
Right.
the Expo is the beginning of that. So first community that will notice that large capital appreciation. We're also fairly ready in terms of commercial and entertainment. So this also puts us in a very good position in terms of us being a future-based city, but very close to being completed as well in terms of all the commercial, the entertainment, since we already have them. We're just doing the final touches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And one thing I think most of us have understood because there's not a lot that people know about Expo.
Mhm.
I was quite surprised when I came here and I was like, how are people not talking about this?
Yeah.
Like such a fantastic project. But one of the few things we know is that this is a government-backed development.
Right.
So, Ida, how does this help the investor? What advantages does that give the investor to invest in a government-backed development as opposed to a privately owned development?
All right. So, yes, we are governmentally backed. So, for example, His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Saeed Al Maktoum, he is our chairman and also the chairman of Emirates, the civil aviation, and many more. So, why people put their trust in the government, because of proven track record. If you look at government developers so far in the country, they have delivered on time, they've done what they've promised, and there hasn't been any issues. And usually, with a government developer, you get really good appreciation.
Right.
So, many government developers already in the market without naming names, they've all done very well for themselves and for their investors as well. So the same thing is here. Usually, people just often put their trust in the government because if they say something is going to happen, it must happen. And His Highness himself has a proven track record of if he has a vision, if he states something, it ends up flourishing and coming to life. And Expo is one of the things that he has declared, one of the locations of His Highness's 2040 vision, which is why this is a very important location and a very important community for the government themselves.
No, I can see what you mean by that because I've noticed as well, wherever you have a government-backed development pop up, you're pretty much guaranteed to see a metro station pop up there as well. So
Right.
the infrastructure tends to reach those areas pretty fast. So I see what you mean by that. Moving on to the connectivity of Expo as well, of course. How does this translate into convenience and time savings for residents? I'm sure you've heard a lot of people claiming that Expo is far, but how well connected is it? And is it really far from what we know as the center of Dubai?
So I always say that the fact that people think Expo's far is quite a misconception
Mhm.
because once people come here from around the city, they go like, "Oh, I never realized it was that close." So it's because the government made the infrastructure of Expo so accessible for the Expo 2020, which was the biggest mega event to happen in the region. So during that event, we had 24 million visitors during a span of 6 months. So imagine about a population that's 3.6 million and
Yeah.
us having that many visitors come to that one event. And during that time, there was no traffic, amazing, amazing organization from the city as well. So you will not face traffic moving forward. I mean, the population is estimated to double as per the 2040 predictions.
That's right.
And right now, you see already the traffic that's coming in the center, which happens in cities, happens in first world cities, especially. So this is happening currently in Dubai. So the focus of the government and how they're gonna deal with this is by shifting Dubai more towards the south side. And that's why the infrastructure of the South, and specifically Expo, since we've hosted that event, is very, very efficient. Nearby communities, for example, we're 15 minutes away from Dubai Marina, 15 minutes away from the seaside. We're going to have the longest beach in the world, Jebel Ali Beach, also 15 minutes away. We have DIP, Motor City, Studio City, Arjan, all 10 to 15 minutes away. So you have a lot of connectivity, a lot of communities that you have access to in terms of hospitals, schools. So this is also a very important aspect, and you will have everything delivered to Expo City as well.
Well, that's great. Well, here's another thing that I've noticed. Everyone who talks about Expo keeps hammering on about sustainability, right? It's great, and it's become a bit of a buzzword in the past decade.
Right.
But how does this sustainability focus translate into cost savings for residents, or maximization of returns for investors? What good does it benefit the person who's putting in money into Expo?
So personally, I think the best part is the benefits to the people's lives. You know, this is the number one aspect. I mean, first of all, you're going to be environmentally conscious. You'll be breathing the freshest air possible for you, for your children. We're going to help generations and generations to come with what we're doing here in Expo
That's
City.
massive.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So waking up every day in a community where you feel good about where you live, feel good about what you're doing here, is a huge luxury that most communities and most countries don't get to have. And we are the first stepping stone of that in the UAE. So first, the fact that we're becoming net zero carbon emission by the year 2050, this means that we will have to add a lot of nature for us to balance our carbon footprint. So this is a lack that we have in Dubai that we are focusing on here in Expo City. So you always hear, you know, I wish there was nature. I wish we had more nature, where we're doing it
you
here
do hear
already.
that quite a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we're gonna have it here in Expo. And on top of that, other benefits would be financially. So people actually don't understand that being sustainable is actually profitable as well, where you would reduce all your electricity and water bills, for example, because we use solar panels and water reduction systems. So this is also great. A lot of people are conscious of the utility bills when it comes to short-term rental, for example,
Right.
because they're like, what is
Yeah.
the tenant gonna do if it's not his house? They're gonna just blow up the bills.
Yeah, they're just gonna leave the
E-
tap running.
Exactly. So when you have that reduced as well, it helps you out a lot when it comes to your rental return too.
Yeah.
So this is some of the benefits that we have here as well.
So Aeda, let's move on to the business side of Expo, right?
Yeah.
How does Expo City attract multinational companies and foster a business-friendly environment that can lead to growth and new opportunities? And how does the presence of these multinational companies benefit the investor of a 1, 2, 3, 4 bedroom apartment?
So, for example, if you look at major master communities, wherever a community has more businesses, it has always flourished in terms of rental returns. For example, a typical community of that would be Business Bay.
Yeah.
You know, you have so many businesses there. Now the ROI in Business Bay is quite high because of these businesses. So we're going to have the same thing here. And we don't just have any businesses. We have some of the biggest names and the biggest headquarters moving here, like Siemens, Terminus, Emirates Innovation. We also have signed with Nestle, Wii Banking, Fujifilm, Live Nation. I mean, just these people, these are the workforce that are going to be coming and renting your properties once they're ready, since you're buying off plan, or even buying it from you once you've waited till it was ready to sell it.
If I may add, I've noticed you guys are very strict about what tenants you allow, which businesses you even allowed to come into Expo.
Right.
Because we've had clients who were ready with the money, dare I say, I don't know if this is allowed to be added in, but we had clients who were ready to rent in Expo, and we simply got denied entry into Expo, and we couldn't get the deal done. Not because the company had a bad reputation or anything, but you guys tend to be very strict when it comes to which companies get to operate an expo and their profile.
Right. And that's why our commercial spaces are not for sale. I mean, on a daily basis,
Yeah.
we get asked, can I buy from you a commercial space? But, once someone buys a commercial space, then they will rent it to whoever, and this is a master community that His Highness has declared the new center of Dubai's future.
Yeah.
So that's a big name and a big reputation that we must keep, which is why we're very selective with our tenants. So that's why you're hearing these big names that are moving in, big companies that are moving in, white collar employees. So this is a very important part of Expo City. And just when the businesses move in, you're going to see this whole community boom, because once the businesses are here, this whole community is going to be alive. I mean, think about it in
And you're
numbers.
also maintaining a certain standard
We're
of
maintaining
businesses
exactly
that are allowed to come in,
a
right?
certain
Which
standard.
keeps the standard of the community
Not
itself
just
pretty
the
high.
businesses, we're keeping
Yeah.
a certain standard of our residential units as well. We're not delivering anything below high end. His Highness has declared this a community for the elite, and it will stay a community for the elite. If you think about it in numbers, for example, after the announcement of our master plan, there's going to be 40,000 professionals working in Expo and 35,000 residents. With all the residential units we have, we don't even have enough for the amount of employees that are going to be working from Expo, yet alone the workforce from Al Maktoum Airport. Whoever is looking for the luxury segment in Dubai South will have to opt for Expo City. And we don't even have enough units. So imagine how high the demand is going to be, since our supply is low for our own community in terms of workforce to residence ratio. So that's a huge aspect as well for people to consider.
It literally creates a bidding war on
Exactly.
handover, right?
Yeah.
I mean, well, there's going to be nothing like it. It's going to be quite a sight to see. I can't wait to see the handovers. Let's go over to the model. I've got a couple questions that I'd like you to actually point at as you answer me. Is that all right?
Yeah, for
Cool.
sure. Let's go.
So, Aeda, we've heard a lot about this 10 billion dirham expansion
Right.
that was approved by His Highness. Could you point to it on the master plan, and how is it going to benefit the investor of an apartment or a plot or a villa?
So first of all, the first 10 billion dirhams expansion is going to be towards the Dubai World Trade Center, or the new Dubai Exhibition Center. This is going to be the largest in the region. It will span 180,000 square meters, and it will double the amounts of events that we currently have in Dubai. Already, we don't have a shortage of events here. Imagine doubling it to 600. We don't even have enough days of the year for the amounts of events that we're going to have here annually.
That's almost 2 per day.
Yeah. And then an additional 10 billion dirhams has been approved for the expansion of Expo City Dubai. So that's where we're going to have these 5 districts, since our community is now divided into those. And we have new residential districts that are coming up in the near future as well, that are going to be towards the outer skirts of Expo City.
On this master plan, can you point to key technologies and infrastructure that make Expo City the city of the future?
So one of the most important key technology, or let's say technological buildings, would be Terra, the Sustainability Pavilion. So it's primarily made out of solar panels. It reduces electricity consumption for the district. It even has solar panels that follow the direction of the sun, absorb solar energy.
Is that the one we can see
Exactly.
outside here?
The one we see. So this is one of the most important buildings in Expo City and in the UAE, actually. You will find it on the new 500 dirhams note, a big testimony of how important this building is to the whole country. So this is one of them. Of course, we have the surreal waterfalls. They're like waterfalls. It's a mix of air, water, and fire. And the composer of the music there is Hans Zimmer. Beautiful shows for you to visit all year round. We did have robotics during the Expo 2020 that worked as security, guidance, delivered food. Some of them do remain in Rove Hotel, and they were actually done by Terminus, the company that moved here.
Hans Zimmer, it's quite familiar. Have they done anything else?
He's a big composer, like Lion King's music, Game of Thrones. So so he's very, very popular, very famous guy.
Let's see.
So these are some of the technologies that we have here in Expo City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to move to the villas. So, Aeda, one of the most popular product offerings that we're finding in Expo at the moment is the villas, right? The Maha Villas and the Yasmina Villas. What makes these villa projects so attractive to high net worth individuals?
Yeah, so the fact that they are located in a villa community that's 60% greenery. I mean, we've only done 500 villas in a almost 7 million square foot plot of land, which you don't usually find very often. Usually with 500 villas, you get one clubhouse, which is what's standard in Dubai. We're doing 3 clubhouses with different pools, amenities, outdoor theater, farms, and it's connected to a 1 million square foot nature reserve where you're going to have
I
gazelles and
was about
different
to
wildlife.
mention, like, it's crazy how a lot of the area here is not actually covered by built up area.
Yeah.
It's a lot of forest, nature.
Mhm.
I believe that's a lake.
Right.
It's really well built.
So attached to that nature reserve, we have also a huge forest with hiking trails, cycling trails, and horseback riding as well. So it's an amazing place. You don't usually find forests attached to master communities in Dubai.
No.
So it's a whole new concept that we're creating here in Expo City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's get to what's important, right? The payment plan in Expo City. Does it offer peace of mind and lower risk to investors? Because payment plans have gotten quite aggressive
Right.
most recently, especially from reputable developers, because they're in the position to charge such premiums because they understand that they're selling value. Now, does your payment plan cater to the financial needs of high net worth individuals?
Yes, so in today's market with the high international demand we have in Dubai, it's not easy to find a nice post handover payment plan. So far, and especially with government developers.
Yep.
So far, we've given the best payment plans in the market. With our new project, City Residences, we're still giving a 70/30 post handover for 2 years payment plan.
Okay.
So it's an amazing payment plan. We didn't just jump to the regular 80/20 payment plan that we're seeing in the market today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great because I mean it allows you to leverage an extra 10% on handover. You know, if the
Exactly.
capital appreciation is maybe 50% and you've only invested 70% of the equity,
Right.
that's an amazing deal. Yeah. Okay. Aeda, well, thanks a lot for the insights.
Thank you
It's
so
clear that
much.
Expo City is truly something special for
It is.
both investors and residents alike. And yeah, for those of you watching, if you'd like more information or if you have any more questions, click the link below to download the investment guide that we've created for Expo City. It's absolutely packed with everything you need to know about becoming an early bird investor in this amazing opportunity. And we'll be in touch to help you get started.
Thank you.